Hi, my name is Jen Campbell, and I'm going to be talking to you about an experience I had with creative writing that helped shape who I am as a student and who I am as a teacher. I've been teaching English now for 11 years. I taught in a large school district for 9, and I have spent the last two school years in Sturgeon, Missouri, which is my hometown, and it's a really small school district with about 30 kids per grade level. So our entire high school is 120 students. In the schools that I was in before, the ninth grade class was 450 students, so quite a difference. Um, as a student, I've always excelled as a writer. It's something that I really enjoy doing. It's something that means a lot to me. And when I became a teacher, I wanted my students to have that same feeling about writing that I do. Um, One of the things that really impacted the way that I feel about writing is a class that I took called the Missouri Writing Project. The Missouri Writing Project is a class taught through the University of Missouri during the summer, and it's usually taught by a K through 12 teacher, or it's taught by a professor who has high school or elementary school experience as a teacher. And the class is meant to help us grow as writers so that we can help our students grow as writers. And it focuses on a lot of different writing techniques, a lot of different writing strategies. We use the techniques, we use the strategies, and then we talk about ways to incorporate those strategies into the classroom so that we can help our students. Within this class, you're put into writing groups with the other students who, most of them are teachers or wanting to become teachers in a language arts classroom. We're put into different writing groups with these teachers, and we're expected to write every day, and then we share that writing with our peers who then edit it or talk about ways for us to improve it. At the end of the class, we created our own portfolios, but then we also selected pieces that were important to us to put into a booklet that included 3 pieces of writing from every teacher. And then it was something that they bound and we were able to keep. So it was a really, really cool experience for us and for me included. I've taken the Missouri Writing Project twice. The first time that I took it, I had just lost my younger brother to suicide. So the class was something I honestly wasn't really looking forward to because I had so much on my mind and so much on my plate dealing with his loss that I just really wasn't feeling being in a classroom, being in a setting where I had to kind of be around other people. So when they told us we could write about whatever we wanted in these writing groups, I tried to not write about my brother, but that didn't really work out. So almost everything I wrote ended up being about Matt. I wrote several poems about my brother, and then I wrote a longer nonfiction piece that ended up being more of a creative nonfiction piece. I was able to share that with the people in the group, to share it with the professors, and have a lot of people give me feedback and give me, I don't know, a sense of kind of belonging. Like a lot of them had gone through similar experiences, and so they were able to look at my writing, get to know a little bit more about me, but then also give me feedback to make this an even stronger piece. At the end of the class, we were expected to do what was called a radical revision, where we took one of our pieces and turned it into something different. And we were sort of encouraged to make that something different be a digital piece. So I took a poem that I had written about my brother and turned it into a digital piece using Photo Story, where I incorporated pictures and music, and then pieces of the writing that I had done kind of went over the pictures and went with the music. And then we had to write a rationale. So it was a really cool experience, and it was a really good way for me to kind of deal with the feelings I had about my brother in a place where I actually felt safe. I didn't think I would, but I felt safe and I felt comfortable, and it just allowed me to grow as a writer. It also helped me see the benefit, which I already knew this kind of going into it, but it really helped me see it on a personal level, the benefit of being able to write as not just a means of academic communication, but as a means of release, as a catharsis, as a way to kind of deal with things that maybe we don't have another way to deal with other than to put it into writing. So all these things I took into my classroom. And I really decided that within the regular English classroom, I wanted to be able to have students see writing as a way to convey those things that we want them to convey in academia, being able to have a thesis and support it with evidence, being able to cite things throughout research, being able to explore topics, all of those things. But I also wanted them to be able to see writing as a way to look at their own lives, as a way to reflect, and as a way to kind of release the things that they've dealt with, things that they can get onto paper and express themselves as not just students, but as people. So throughout the years, every year in English 2 and in English 1, which are the two regular English classes that I teach, I try really hard to let them see both sides of writing, to let them see writing as something they can do academically, but then also something that they can do creatively. So we always do something with poetry. We always do some type of personal narrative so that they can see that it's not just about grammar. It's not just about the really structured aspects of writing, which are definitely important, but it's also about that personal part of writing, that creative part of writing. This year, I was able to take those ideas and create my own creative writing class. Like I said, I teach in a really small school district, so I was able to take what I had learned through the Missouri Writing Project and what I'd learned about myself as a student and as a writer, and do some things where now the students get to do that same thing. They get to think about things that are personally important to them and express it through poetry, express it through short stories. This year I had them do a photo essay where they had to pick some sort of theme. It could be something that was important to them, either within their family or within their friends. It could be a social issue that was important to them. It could be an event that had been important to them, and they had to use pictures and music to convey that theme. They could use a limited amount of words, but it had to be they couldn't use any more than, I believe it was 50 words to convey this theme. And they had to do it all digitally. They had to use pictures that were theirs, personal pictures, and then music, and then talk about why they had picked those things, the rationale, how they illustrated their theme. And the students really liked the assignment, I think because they could take ownership of the assignment. And I think a lot of them were able to express things that maybe in academic writing it would have been really difficult for them to express. But since they were able to use a digital format that they're comfortable with, and they were able to use pictures, they really were able to put themselves into this work, which is what I think writing really is about. And that's what the Missouri Writing Project taught me, and what I hope to be able to continue to convey to my students. I think as we become a more digital society, it's really important that students see writing not just as pen and paper, but also as technology, as a digital form of communication. So all of that I learned through the Missouri Writing Project, through the teachers that I met, and through the professors that I had. And so it was a really cool experience for me that I was glad I was able to have, and that I was able to have it at the time that I had it. I'd only been a teacher for 2 years when I went through the Missouri Writing Project, so I was still kind of fresh out of school, but also one foot in the teaching door. And so it was a really good time for me to be able to see what seasoned teachers were doing within their classroom as far as writing went. And then since I had to go through and do all the assignments, I had to go through and learn all the strategies that we teach students, and see it from a student side and a teacher side. I think it really helped me as a writer and as a teacher. So it's an experience I was grateful for. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. Bye.